May I present my honored guests, Viserys of House Targaryen, the third of his name, the rightful king of the Andals and the first men, and his sister, Daenerys of House Targaryen.
He's a savage, of course, but he's one of the finest killers alive. And you will be his queen. I give him a queen, and he gives me an army.
I don't want to be his queen. I want to go home.
So do I. I want us both to go home, but they took it from us. So tell me, sweet sister, how do we go home?
I don't know.
We go home with an army. With Khal Drogo's army. I would let his whole tribe fuck you. All 40,000 men and their horses too, if that's what it took. I am Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. I don't take orders from savages or their sluts. Do you hear me?
Rakaro asked if you want him dead, Khalisi.
No!
Rakaro say you should take ear to teach respect.
Please, please don't hurt him. Tell him I don't want my brother harmed.
You do not talk back to me. You are a horse lord slut, and now you've woken the dragon.
I am a Khalisi of the Dothraki. I am the wife of the great Khal, and I carry his son inside me. The next time you raise a hand to me will be the last time you have hands.
The whore is pregnant.
You're speaking of murdering a child.
I warned you this would happen back in the north. I warned you, but you didn't care to hear. Well, hear it now. I want them dead. Mother and child both. And that fool Viserys as well. Is that plain enough for you?
I want what I came for. I want the crown he promised me. He bought you, but he never paid for you. Tell him I want what was bargained for, or I'm taking you back. He can keep the baby. I'll cut it out and leave it for him.
Make them. No, you can't. Just please. Daddy, please!
A crown for a king.
Jorah, make them stop.
Khalisi.
You heard me.
Mago was the mashaka which got us so fine. Bahara Haish Raki which got us so Sayamai. Astiana Hastini Chila.
Mago Asakat Jalari, Mashek Mishirakiani. And the request of San Ahariashek, Majan Morinembis, Majan Nembososaji.
Jini Atala Jalar. Jin Chorasi Zafrajin. Bajin Kisha Takimora, then Mea Balaya Pakisha.
Ananem Alefak Vanza Digmora. Hash Dothraki Shakit Sisajimora, Hash Morikit Mamoa Mamora. You will be my Khalasar. I see the faces of slaves. I free you. Take off your collars, go if you wish, no one will stop you. But if you stay, it will be as brothers and sisters, as husbands and wives.
I've been searching for you, Daenerys Stormborn, to ask your forgiveness. I was sworn to protect your family. I failed them. embarrassed and sell me. King's guard to your father. Allow me to join your Queen's guard, and I will not fail you again. The walk of punishment is a warning, Your Grace.
To whom?
For any slave who contemplates doing whatever these slaves did.
Give me your water.
Khalisi, this man has been sentenced to death.
Leave this place, Your Grace. Leave tonight, I beg you.
And what is she to do for soldiers?
We can find sellswords in Pentos and Mir.
Is it we already, Sir Barristan? If you want to sit on the throne your ancestors built, you must win it. That will mean blood on your hands before the thing is done.
The blood of my enemies, not the blood of innocents. I offered water to one of the slaves dying on the walk of punishment. Do you know what he said to me? Let me die. There are no masters in the grave, Your Grace.
Tovagedi! Axiosentas, mentiosentas, Kiloni pilos luevale tolviosenetas, Inini odricatas, Urne lue dolhe prijatas! Tovagedis! Jemut live sorry. Keso tubi. Jemut taivri depan. Hendo jagun jalza luevale miri. Hendo jagun costas. Doi rivali Sirio Trikilsa! Jemut kiven ju depan! Unei city veli velat! Undari valotti!
I brought away my years fighting for terrible kings.
He swore an oath.
Yes, the man of honor keeps his vows. Even if he's serving a drunk or a lunatic. Just once in my life before it's over. I want to know what it's like to serve with pride. To fight for someone I believe in. You believe in her?
With all my heart.
Hezer broza jeve gemele dreveletas. Menteri evanye evesteletas keskidos sogamagon. Gadbaga ohe gregogas. Avi hoskas lue broze evesteletas. Munya ao teptas lue brozi e amilie tolie.
We don't need Yunkai, Khalisi. Taking this city will not bring you any closer to Westeros or the Iron Throne.
How many slaves are there in Yunkai?
200,000, if not more.
Then we have 200,000 reasons to take the city.
The wise masters of Yunkai have sent a gift for the Silver Queen. There is far more than this awaiting you on the deck of your ship.
My ship?
Yes, Khalisi. As I said, we are a generous people. You shall have as many ships as you require.
And what do you ask in return?
All we ask is that you make use of these ships. Sail them back to Westeros where you belong and leave us to conduct our affairs in peace.
You will release every slave in Yunkai. Every man, woman, and child shall be given as much food, clothing, and property as they can carry as payment for their years of servitude. Reject this gift, and I shall show you no mercy.
You are mad. We are not Astapor or Karth. We are Yunkai. And we have powerful friends, friends who would take great pleasure in destroying you. Those who survive, we shall enslave once more. Perhaps we'll make a slave of you as well.
Tarri Chelvazie enkot daor. Jevite bagon daor. Dervi jeri sidibilos daor. Gemele meli sidibilos. Lomiri ziri. Mesmalgon bestila. Tolvis jevis.
There's one on every mile marker between here and Marine.
How many miles are there between here and Marine?
163, Your Grace.
I'll tell our men to ride ahead and bury them. You don't need to see this.
You will do no such thing. I will see each and every one of their faces. Remove her collar before you bury her.
Дейнерис желмазмо ексан. Construis gevia ixa in obi petra gemo vestretis, dauri gemo vestretis. Daria gema. Doria udroponto sitiman, merigemi I vestran. Ela astropotistan. Astropot dohetrossa, si rinyo ingoti orzi. Daeri. Hembar yunkai otistan. Yunkai dohetrossa, si rinyo ingoti orzi. Daeri. Se sir merinnot mastan. Jevi klenuntis ixon daor. Jevi klenuntis gemo pactot issa. Jevi klenuntis gemo rigna laudissis osenis. Jevi klenuntis gemo sit meri belma se boteri. Se udrasmiasi. Udrasmi machan daor. Iedereen non machan.
Remind me, Sir Jorah, how many children did the great masters nail to mileposts?
163, Khalisi.
Sometimes it is better to answer injustice with mercy.
I will answer injustice with justice.
There's other news. From Yunkai. Without the Ansali to enforce your rule, the wise masters have retaken control of the city. They've re-enslaved the freedmen who stayed behind and sworn to take revenge against you. And in Astapor, the council you installed to rule over the city has been overthrown by a butcher named Cleon. You could sail for Westeros and leave it all behind. A boy sits on the Iron Throne, a boy many believe to be a bastard with no right to it. They've never been more vulnerable.
How can I rule 7 kingdoms if I can't control Slaver's Bay? Why should anyone trust me? Why should anyone follow me? I will not let those I have freed slide back into chains. I will not sail for Westeros.
Without you there to rule Khalisi, I fear the masters will simply bide their time, wait for the invaders to leave, and reassert control.
That is why I've ordered Dario to execute every master in Yunkai. The masters tear babies from their mothers' arms. They mutilate little boys by the thousands. They train little girls in the art of pleasuring old men. They treat men like beasts.
I sold men into slavery, Khalisi.
And now, you are helping me show them to freedom.
I wouldn't be here to help you if Ned Stark had done to me what you want to do to the masters of Yunkai.
The man who came to me the other day about burying his father.
His Dazol Lorak.
He will accompany the second sons and serve as my ambassador to Yunkai. He will tell the masters what has happened in Marine. He will explain the choice they have before them. They can live in my new world, or they can die in their old one. You betrayed me. From the first.
Forgive me. I never meant. Please, Khalisi, forgive.
You sold my secrets to the man who killed my father
I have
and
protected
stole my
you,
brother's throne.
fought
You
for
want
you,
me to
killed for
forgive you.
I have loved you.
Love? How can you say that to me? Any other man I would have you executed, but you, I do not want you in my city, dead or alive. Go back to your masters in King's Landing. Collect your pardon, if you can.
The 7 kingdoms need someone stronger than Tommen,
but gentler than Stannis. A monarch who can intimidate the High Lords and inspire the people. A ruler loved by millions with a powerful army and the right family name.
They do not ask for the return of slavery. They ask for the reopening of the fighting pits.
The fighting pits. Where slaves fought slaves to the death.
In the new world that you've brought to us, free men would fight free men.
No fighting pits.
Opening them would show the people of Yunkai and Mиэрина that you respect their traditions.
I do not respect the tradition of human cockfighting.
When the people rose in revolt against him, your father set their towns and castles aflame. He murdered sons in front of their fathers. He burned men alive with wildfire and laughed as they screamed. And his efforts to stamp out dissent led to a rebellion that killed every Targaryen, except 2.
I'm not my father.
No, your grace. Thank the gods. But the Mad King gave his enemies the justice he thought they deserved. And each time, it made him feel powerful and right. Until the very end.
I will not have the son of the Harpy executed without a fair trial. Ilvasgatori iles, idrenejum bare, drivi mi jetta.
Mel prisha shisha ochni eskore shis, fos dal crotching wechi.
Fos dar hizir Lucias costaur. Aixar hizi Lucias hostaur. Gurgon jazdano, glaison aochonis hostaur. Iziri aixia, vitri iris.
Shishilolska je vitril.
Vitri isa.
Kiviso dari drivi melux vestretan. Se pa djevi remi, inot dranje dat. Djahe edanje me jere otolion, zagon kostos tau. Merino pastie de rene jumbiles, se bisa vala zirios sentas, kilonarion morchon issa.
Barristan the Bold, they called him. He crossed a continent to serve me. He was a loyal friend. And he died in an alley, butchered by cowards who hide behind masks. Round up the leaders of each of Meereen's great families and bring them to me.
Sirieniot. Djevi que non tis exondao. Djevi que non tis pactus.
Now you have given the masters what they deserve. If I give everyone what they deserve, I'll have no one left to rule. Sir Barristan counseled mercy when I took this city right up to the morning he died. Dario Naharis thinks I should kill the former masters and let the rest of the city fend for itself. What do you think?
I can only tell you what I have seen, Your Grace. I have seen you listen to your counselors. I have seen you lean on their experience when your own was lacking, and weigh the choices they put before you. And I have seen you ignore your counselors, because there was a better choice, one that only you could see.
It takes courage to admit fear. And to admit a mistake. I came here to tell you that I was wrong. I was wrong, and you were right. About tradition. About bringing the people of this city together. I will reopen the fighting pits. To free men only. Slavery will never return to Meereen.
So a woman who has not spent a single day of her adult life in Westeros becomes the ruler of Westeros? That's justice?
She's the rightful heir.
Why? Because her father, who burned living men for amusement, was the king?
On the day of the great games, gather all the great masters and wise masters and worthy masters you can find, and slaughter them all.
I am a queen, not a butcher.
If you are Tyrion Lannister, why shouldn't I kill you? To pay your family back for what it did to mine.
When I was a young man, I heard a story about a baby born during the worst storm in living memory. She had no wealth, no lands, no army, only a name. And a handful of supporters, most of whom probably thought they could use that name to benefit themselves. They kept her alive, moving her from place to place, often hours ahead of the men who'd been sent to kill her. She was eventually sold off to some warlord on the edge of the world, and that appeared to be that. And then, a few years later, the most well-informed person I knew told me that this girl without wealth, lands, or armies had somehow acquired all three in a very short span of time, along with 3 dragons. He thought she was our best, last chance to build a better world.
I know what my father was. What he did. I know the Mad King earned his name. Why did you travel to the far side of the world to meet someone terrible?
To see if you were the right kind of terrible.
Which kind is that?
The kind that prevents your people from being even more so.
I'm not going to kill you. You're going to advise me. While you can still speak in complete sentences.
I fought so that no child born into Slaver's Bay would ever know what it meant to be bought or sold. I will continue that fight here and beyond. But this is not my home.
Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell. They're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, then that one's on top, and on it spins, crushing those on the ground.
It's a beautiful dream. Stopping the wheel. You're not the first person who's ever dreamt it.
I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
Daenerys Stormborn is the one who was promised. From the fire she was reborn to remake the world. She has freed the slaves from their chains and crucified the masters for their sins. Daenerys has been sent to lead the people against the darkness. In this war, and in the great war still to come.
Our fathers were evil men. All of us here. They left the world worse than they found it. We're not going to do that. We're going to leave the world better than we found it. You will support my claim as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, and respect the integrity of the Seven Kingdoms. No more reaving, roving, raiding, or raping.
That's our way of life.
No more.
No more.
I believe in you. It's embarrassing, really. I'd swear you're my sword, but I don't actually own a sword.
It's your counsel I need.
It's yours. Now and always.
Tyrion Lannister. I name you Hand of the Queen.
If Viserys had 3 dragons and an army at his back, he'd have invaded King's Landing already.
Conquering Westeros would be easy for you. But you're not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
No.
I will serve you well. I will dedicate myself to seeing you on the Iron Throne because I choose you. Because I know the people have no better chance than you.
And I swear this. If you ever betray me, I'll burn you alive.
Bosses bantis amazis. Merikivio dolalaris os machagon contas.
The prince who was promised will bring the dawn. I'm afraid I'm not a prince.
Your Grace, forgive me, but your translation is not quite accurate. That noun has no gender in High Valyrian, so the proper translation for that prophecy would be the prince or princess who was promised will bring the dawn.
We have an army, a fleet, and 3 dragons. We should hit King's Landing now, hard, with everything we have. The city will fall within a day.
If we turn the dragons loose, tens of thousands will die in the firestorm.
My greatest regret is that Oberyn died fighting for you.
That's enough! Lord Tyrion is Hand of the Queen. You will treat him with respect. I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
Your father burned my grandfather alive. He burned my uncle alive. He would have burned the Seven Kingdoms.
My father was an evil man. On behalf of House Targaryen, I ask your forgiveness for the crimes he committed against your family. And I ask you not to judge a daughter by the sins of her father.
But you haven't stormed King's Landing. Why not? The only reason I can see is you don't want to kill thousands of innocent people. It's the fastest way to win the war, but you won't do it. Which means, at the very least, you're better than Cersei. The army of the dead is on the march.
The army of the dead?
You don't know me well, my lord, but do you think I'm a liar or a madman?
No, I don't think you're either of those things.
The army of the dead is real. The White Walkers are real. The Night King is real. I've seen them. If they get past the wall and we're squabbling amongst ourselves, we're finished.
I spent my life in foreign lands. So many men have tried to kill me. I don't remember all their names. I have been sold like a brood mare. I've been shamed and betrayed, raped and defiled. Do you know what kept me standing through all those years in exile? Faith. Not in any gods. Not in myths and legends. In myself. In Daenerys Targaryen.
It takes no time to bend the knee. Pledge your sword to her cause.
And why would I do that? I mean no offense, Your Grace, but I don't know you. As far as I can tell, your claim to the throne rests entirely on your father's name, and my own father fought to overthrow the Mad King.
Daenerys could have sailed for Westeros long ago, but she didn't. Instead, she stayed where she was and saved many people from horrible fates. Some of whom are on this island with us right now. While you're our guest here, you might consider asking them what they think of the Mad King's daughter. She protects people from monsters, just as you do. That's why she came here.
I will allow you to mine the dragon glass and forge weapons from it. Any resources or men you need, I will provide for you.
Thank you.
Because the enemy is real. It's always been real.
And you say you can't defeat them without my armies and my dragons?
No, I don't think I can.
I will fight for you. I will fight for the North. When you bend the knee.
All my allies are gone. They've been taken from me while I've been sitting here on this island.
You still have the largest armies.
Who won't be able to eat because Cersei has taken all the food from the Reach?
Call Grey Worm and the Unsullied Banner. We still have enough ships to carry the Dothraki to the mainland. Commit to the blockade of King's Landing. We have a plan. It's still the right plan.
The right plan! Your strategy has lost us Dawn, the Iron Islands, and the Reach.
What do you think of her? Who? I believe you know of whom I speak.
I think she has a good heart.
How did a slave girl come to advise Daenerys Targaryen?
She bought me from my master and set me free.
That was good of her. Of course, you're serving her now, aren't you?
I serve my queen because I want to serve my queen. Because I believe in her.
And if you wanted to sail home to Narth tomorrow?
Then she would give me a ship and wish me good fortune.
You believe that?
I know it. All of us who came with her from Essos, we believe in her. She's not our queen because she's the daughter of some king we never knew. She's the queen we chose.
Will you forgive me if I switch sides?
I know what Cersei has told you. That I've come to destroy your cities, burn down your homes, murder you and orphan your children. That's Cersei Lannister, not me. I'm not here to murder. And all I want to destroy is the wheel that has rolled over rich and poor, to the benefit of no one but the Cersei Lannisters of the world. I offer you a choice. Bend the knee and join me. Together, we will leave the world a better place than we found it. Or refuse. And die. You will not kneel?
I already have a queen. My sister. She wasn't your queen until recently, though, was she? When she murdered your rightful queen and destroyed House Tyrell for all time. So it appears your allegiances are somewhat flexible. Perhaps he could take the black, Your Grace. Whatever else he is a true soldier. He'll be invaluable at the war.
You cannot send me to the war. You are not my queen.
You are the future of your house. This war has already wiped one great house from the world. Don't let it happen again. Bend the knee.
I will not.
Your Grace, nothing scrubs bold notions from a man's head like a few weeks in a dark cell.
I meant what I said. I'm not here to put men in chains. If that becomes an option, many will take it. I gave them a choice. They made it. Lord Randall Tarly, Dickon Tarly. I, Daenerys of House Targaryen, first of my name, breaker of chains and mother of dragons, sentence you to die. Dracarys.
All rulers demand that people bend the knee. It's why they're rulers. She gave Tarly a choice. A man who had taken up arms against her. What else could she do?
Daenerys is not her father.
And she never will be. With the right counsel.
Run back to Eastwood. Get a raven to Daenerys. Tell her what's happened. I'm not leaving you. You're the fastest. Go, now!
You can't! The most important person in the world can't fly off to the most dangerous place in the world.
Who else can?
No one. They knew the risk when they left. You can't win the throne if you're dead. You can't break the wheel if you're dead.
So what would you have me do?
Nothing. Sometimes nothing is the hardest thing to do. If you die, we're all lost. Everyone, everything.
You told me to do nothing before and I listened to you. I'm not doing nothing again. We are going to destroy the Night King and his army. We'll do it together. You have my word.
My queen. I'd, bend the knee, but...
What about those who swore allegiance to you?
They'll all come to see you for what you are.
I hope I deserve